One more thing. Chicago's got the money to put it in all gears. That way the community doesn't have to pay for it. Now, of course, they're going to see if the community can pay for it first. Scores of the NBA last night.
We start here at 6 with big news on the lakefront. The Bears unveiled their multi-billion-dollar plan for a new domed stadium. The planned stadium would be built on what is currently a parking garage and lots for the current Soldier Field. And here's the new vision. Just hours ago, the Bears provided the first renderings of what they call a state-of-the-art, publicly owned, enclosed stadium.
This is not an easy project, but Chicago doesn't like it easy. We like to do the difficult things.
We also learned the Bears would be able to continue playing at Soldier Field during the construction. But the cost of the project causing a lot of confusion tonight. CBS 2's Sabrina Franza joins us live in the studio. So, Sabrina, we know clearly this is going to involve public money. If it happens, the question a lot of people have is, will taxpayers be responsible for it?
Joe, the mayor says no, but the governor seemed to squash dreams of a stadium with a dome before renderings were even released to the public, saying his priority is to look out for those same taxpayers.
A huge bill for the Bears' shiny new dome.
But what it does not call for are raising existing taxes or implementing any new taxes on the residents of the city of Chicago.
Mayor Brendan Johnson claims the taxpayers won't be on the hook.
This project will result in no new taxes on the residents of Chicago.
Governor J.B. Pritzker expressed concern to the contrary.
But I remain skeptical about this proposal, and I wonder whether it's a good deal for the taxpayers.
The new stadium is projected to cost $3.2 billion. Over $2 billion of that is coming from the Bears, the other millions from an NFL loan request and from state bonds. The surrounding infrastructure is expected to cost $1.5 billion for a grand total of $4.7 billion.
The infrastructure component of this, which is the place that is most immediately, directly, and likely to be the taxpayer burden, to be the government financing burden.
Joe Ferguson, the president of the Civic Federation.
The fact that the mayor was standing and essentially part of this press conference should be a little bit concerning because it suggests a kind of capture of city government before we've even gotten this out of the gate.
The Bears in the city suggested they would ask the federal government to front at least some of the remaining bill. Experts are weary Chicago would get that money, depending on who sits in the Oval Office.
If it is not a Democrat in the White House, we also run the risk of not getting that money. Is that a concern of yours?
Let's put a fine point on it. If Donald Trump is president, the federal spigot gets turned off, period.
Chicago Bears president Kevin Warren cautioned Springfield, saying that the time to get this done is now. He believes that the longer they wait, the more the cost could go up. About $900 million in public funding for the stadium would come from 40-year bonds financed by an existing 2% hotel tax. But that bonding plan needs approval from the Illinois General Assembly. Sabrina Franza, CBS 2 News. Joe?
Step one today. Sabrina, thank you.
Now more on the Chiefs. Let's hear more from Clark Hunt on the development of the stadium plans and without the Royals being involved. I think this is the right idea. They're going to go by each club by themselves. For the first of all, the Chiefs don't want to wait for success for the Royals. I know that the Royals are right now ahead of 500, but they've lost 3 in a row, and they just don't want to wait for success from the Royals because the Chiefs are winning Super Bowls, not worried about getting into a wild card spot, maybe. The Chiefs can go anywhere they want. I would imagine the Royals may have to pay their way to build it. Other reasons I would go my separate ways is because maybe only one team will play at the Sports Truman Complex. If there's another, why are you staying together? That seems kind of questionable. This is Clark Hunt yesterday, if either team would if the Chiefs decided to go to Kansas, you would want to go separate. Different states, obviously. They've already tried once to go together. They've failed. That's why they shouldn't go together. They should stay separate. That's Sam Von Smack.
Sorry. What did you learn from the stadium vote, and how does it inform how you look at things going forward? I realize that's a in-depth point, but can you assess that or summarize it?
Yeah, well, we're definitely disappointed with how the stadium vote turned out. It was something that we had worked on for several years, and we were excited about the opportunity to be able to renovate GEHA Field at Arrowhead. And unfortunately, it just didn't pass. I've been through a few of these processes, and I know from that experience that what you try first doesn't always succeed. So we'll be in a situation where we go back to the drawing board. We will look at all of our options going forward, which is something that we mentioned before the vote. So that'll be our focus.
When you say that, can you also just elaborate on what you think you learned from the voting itself? I mean, from the people of Jackson County, how they voted, what you think that statement was?
Well, obviously they were not in favor of the proposal. In terms of dissecting it into why and which voters had a different perspective, I'm not sure we've had the time to go that deep. So that's something that we'll look at in the coming months. When we started on this process 3 years ago, it felt like we had a very long time, a long runway with about 9.5 years left on our lease. We're now down to 6.5. And so I do feel very much of a sense of urgency, and we will approach it from a broader perspective going forward, because time is short for us at this point, and so we need to see what other options are out there for us.
Scores from last night from the NBA. Monday night, Heat. Celtics take the lead over the Heat 3-1. Thunder sweep the Pelicans 97-89. And the Nuggets win their series in 5, 108-106. Tonight's game, the Sixers and Knicks. The Knicks have a chance to close it out 6 p.m. Cavaliers and Magic, 7 p.m. Tied series is tied at 2. The Pacers and Bucks, this will be one of the hardest games to put them out. If they don't put them out, the Pacers will go back and play home. Pacers and Bucks, Pacers lead 3-1, 8:30 TNT. Oh, and if we want to get real here, let's do the players to watch out for. Tyler Massey and Jalen Brunson for the Knicks and Sixers. Also watch out for Joel Embiid for the Sixers. Magic and Cavaliers, watch out for Paolo Pancho and Donovan Mitchell. And to watch out for the third game, Pacers-Bucks, obviously Giannis Antetokounmpo and Tracy Hilberton. Last night's scores, Royals lose again, have now lost 3 in a row and need to put the nip in the butt in it. Royals will play those Jays again. The Jays are now at 500. Cole Reagans will go for the mound for the Royals, and Jose Brios will go for the Jays. He's been really good with a 1.23 ERA. That game is at 6:07. Cards and Tigers will square off today. Kyle Gibson will go for the Cardinals, and Jack Flaherty will go for the Tigers. Game time, 2:40. The second set, Steven Martz will go for the Cardinals and undecided for the Tigers. Detroit and Cards, Kyle Gibson will go for the Cards and Jack Flaherty will go for the Tigers. Game time, 5:40. Cubs will play the Mets. Javier Asardo will go for the Cubs and Sean Marinaya will go for the Mets. Game time. Wait, we didn't give the Cubs and Mets score from last night. The Cubs beat the Mets 3-1. That's Sam on Sports.